welcome to Greenville, North Carolina, where nothing makes kids happier than puppies and college basketball. It's the Kids Bop Greenville edition today. The Hampton Pirates and the ECU Pirates. What a treasure. Two programs with similar names, and this place is rocking. 5,000 elementary school kids, and they're ready for an excellent day of college basketball. Welcome into Minji's Coliseum with the mom, Brittany Hoyt. I'm the child, EvanBudrovich. 5,000 students, unique college basketball atmosphere. What does this day mean for everyone in this building?
Well, for the students, how fun it is, one, to skip school, but two, just to be on a college campus. Some of these students, it's the first time ever on a college campus, and then two, seeing a big-time college game for these student athletes. Honestly, it just reminds them of perspective. This is just a game, but how fun it is that they were just them a few years ago, and what a gift it is to play on this platform.
The Hampton Pirates, what a wild journey. It's like Eliza Thornberry figuring all this out this year. Only 10 healthy players. And Cameron Hill, she scored 16 last year when these teams met. How does Cameron help out the Pirates today?
Well, just continue to carry the offense. She is leading their team in scoring at 13 points a game, shooting almost 40% behind the arc, Evan, which is phenomenal. She's gotten better every single year. And I say for her, coming into today, just carrying that offense, being that big-time leader that she is.
For the ECU Pirates, Kim McNeil made a magic wish with the Fairly Odd Parents and said, I'm going to change my entire lineup. For one, returner is the senior veteran, Sania Johnson. So how does Sania carry the load today?
Well, she's truly their emotional leader of the group, and obviously the remaining starter in today's lineup for her is continue to do those details, the dirty work, the things that she does so well. She can score at a high level, but also what I love about her, she's a rebounding guard. So can she carry this team today as she finished out last season so well in that conference tournament.
10th all-time meeting between Pirates and Pirates. There's only 3 schools in Division I in the country with the Pirate mascot, so this thing is fantastic.
I expect over 10 Pirate puns the entire show today.
And get your popcorn ready, 5,000 plus students, and it's time for tip. Brandon Ederline, our lead official, and the East Carolina Pirates start with a basketball. This is an East Carolina team that comes in losing 3 straight, and Kim McNeil noted we have to shift things offensively, especially on the glass. So a brand new starting 5.
Well, and I love, too, that she is not afraid to mix it up and do something a little scary this early in the season.
There's a reach-in foul on Hampton. It's Arlisha Boston out of Suffolk, Virginia. A Hampton team that has yet to win a game but have played schools from 5 different conferences, including the ACC, the Big East, and the SoCon. It's been a busy non-conference slate for Hampton. And here's the East Carolina starting 5, brought to you by Grady White Boats, including Talia Weish in her first start in Greenville. A loose ball, and the birthday girl, Karina Gordon, the freshman, celebrates her birthday in front of 6,000 of her closest friends.
I mean, it's not every day that you can say you can start on your birthday, so that also is a gift. But a lot of new faces in the starting lineup today.
Weish battles for position and puts in the first basket.
A great little hook right there, going left. She has the size. She should be able to dominate the paint today.
This is the Hampton starting 5. Key returner Cameron Hill. It's a young lineup with Leasia Foreman out, starting point guard. So a young group with Dabo down low. Hampton lost 4 of its 5 starters from a year ago. Nice work on the glass. And Cheyenne Talbot with the bucket.
Great offensive board. That is what Coach Six is looking for from his group today. Effort on the O boards.
East Carolina with 4 or 5 new starters. We'll see how that chemistry rolls early. Nice save for Johnson to avoid the turnover. And that's the challenge for East Carolina today. Offensive rhythm with this new lineup. Gordon erupts in front of 6,000 with her first 3.
Always great to get that first tray as a starter. That's big for the freshman.
How does that change the equation, ECU opening up its outside game?
Oh, it's so important. That's something that Coach Kim McNeil spoke to us this week about, how important it is to be a threat outside of the perimeter so that, again, it can open it up so they can get to the rim.
ECU entered this game only shooting 33% from deep. That was a huge note for Kim McNeil coming in. Offensive balance. She wants 4 a game in double figures.
And so many are so close.
It's a good look for 3. And the board for Weish. Big size mismatch. And Weish is going to work. How about that effort down low?
Oh, so good. Again, she's understanding right now that she is a scorer. And that's something Kim McNeil is trying to get belief into the Twins. They are scorers.
Talia and Tatiana, and Kim McNeil noted, we want 16 points a game from the two of them. So far, Talia has 4 early. And Hill is called for the offensive foul. First turnover for Hampton today.
Defense is the name for East Carolina. It takes a little bit of guts, Evan, to do this, though. Taking it, obviously outside of the charge circle, really good defense.
East Carolina's offense really plunged in the Bahamas. Averaged 55 a game. They want more explosiveness offensively. 2 tough losses to Ohio State and Seton Hall. Ironically, a Pirate. So 3 Pirates in a week for these programs.
Just trying to get them all out in 1 week.
Bobby Smith in her first start walks the plank and misses the shot. That'll be saved by Hampton. Now Cheyenne Talbot attacks the bucket and draws a foul. That's a senior transfer coming in and making things happen.
Cheyenne Talbot going downhill, which is her strength. Get to the rim. Really challenge the defense to either take a block, take a charge. But again, that is what Talbot does best.
Talbot coming by way of Hofstra. This is her 3rd year now at Hampton. Redshirt junior guard. And working under a legend of a head coach. There's David Six, who incredibly has overcome a stroke in the last 3 years. Never missed a game. Had won 5 straight conference titles just 5 years earlier and has built a legendary program at Hampton.
Well, he truly has. He's the winningest coach in the Hampton women's basketball history. Just an absolute phenomenal coach. Has had so much success recruiting. Has had a great program there.
They won the 2019 KL Coaches Award for courageousness. What a story overcoming that stroke. And now a 3 in the key. The turnover for East Carolina. Jade Tillman, the freshman.
Again, just a simple turnover there. Again, however, it's a dead ball turnover, which again, East Carolina can set up their defense.
East Carolina enters this game forcing the 2nd most turnovers in the country. Instead of reaching foul on Tillman. It's 2 quick ones for the freshman. Kim McNeil noted wanting to shake things up with her lineup. What have been your thoughts 4 minutes in?
Well, I think they're handling it well. I think what you can ask for from this group, right, is to be composed, and I think they have. Again, a dead ball turnover there.
Nice layup for Asia Dabo. This 4-0 run for Hampton.
And again, I just think the execution, that's what she's looking for, trying to find a spark and put a challenge in. Let's see, how is her starting 5 going to respond when they come in, and to see how this group can step up.
Here's a zone defense from David Six. Let's see how the Pirates look to break it down. Johnson down low. Good pressure with 6 on the clock. And Gordon's way off. A rebound to Talbot, who wants to run. She has Boston. And it's poked loose, so it'll stay here. And now Kim McNeil re-enters a couple of her starters. This is Tatiana Weish, twin sister of Talia. Maya Joyner coming in.
Great hustle right there from Sania Johnson, doing what she does best. Hampton trying to get out in transition, but an easy steal gets them the ball back.
Joyner, a little aggressive on that first touch, and an air ball for Boston. What do you want to see out of Maya Joyner coming off the bench for the first time in her career and in a new role now in this first quarter?
Well, if I were her, I mean, come in and just dominate. She's been able to see the game for about 4 minutes. She should be able to see what she can do, her size, her athleticism, and physicality that she can impose on Hampton.
Here's Joyner defensively guarding Hill. And Cameron hits a shot in her face. First lead for Hampton tonight.
That's a senior move right there, getting it done. Hampton up 1 right now. They've just been steady this entire time.
Wide open 3. Dennis is short. And the captain for East Carolina gets her own rebound. Danae McNeil, the all-conference guard, checks back in for East Carolina. So the traditional lineup's now in. Dennis on the drive. Nice look. And Joyner is short, affected by Boston.
Just a simple tip in right there. Got to use the backboard, going up strong and tough.
Hampton coming off its highest scoring game of the year at 56 points in a close loss to LIU Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was the 3rd quarter there, Evan, that really plagued them.
Great dime to Boston. But an air ball on the three. Now can McNeil run in transition. Blows by 2 and hits it. What a shot for Danae McNeil.
A great jump stop. Such a fundamental move, but that's Danae McNeil in control, composed, good pull-up.
McNeil, the leading scorer for East Carolina, 17 tonight. Big 3 for Cameron Hill, and if there's any player who can score in this gym, it's Hill from deep.
It's her. She is not afraid of anything, Evan. She is just playing her game.
The Oral Roberts transfer, every game in double figures. She's been a big scorer for Hampton, who's without its all-conference guard, Asia Foreman, this year.
Well, what's great, too, right, is that's not her strength, but she is taking it and taking over already. Hampton putting on a show. Pirates versus Pirates. They're up 2.
Welcome back to Greenville in this matchup of Pirates. 10th all-time meeting. The series began when David Six took over. His first year, they started a home-and-home series. Revamped in the Kim McNeil era, and it's ECU who's won 2 straight. But last year's matchup was a tight game until Maya Joyner took over.
Well, that was a huge fight by both of those teams last year, and honestly, this Hampton team has a lot to fight for. East Carolina really took it away in the final moments last year. Evan, I tell you what, I would come in with this game with a chip on my shoulder.
A Hampton team that's yet to win a game. It's their slowest start in 4 years. And an East Carolina club is looking to break a 3-game losing streak as Joyner pounds it inside.
When all else fails, go up with 2 hands, Evan, using the backboard for a sure 2.
Hampton breaks the press. We noted the turnover woes for Hampton, averaging 20 turnovers a game coming in. And David Six noted with only 10 healthy players, we have to avoid those critical mistakes. Nice blow by for Talbot, and Joyner with a block. Great ball from Dennis. Johnson runs it in transition, but misses. And now a sloppy turnover that McNeil can't convert. You do wonder how this pace of play is affecting East Carolina.
Well, and also you add in 5,000 students as well. It doesn't help. It speeds you up a little bit.
Amaya Reeves checks in for her first minutes, and Joyner's volleyball tapping it to the wrong team. Good effort there on the boards. A steal here for Danae as this game gets a little helter-skelter. Feels like some slime's going to drop from the roof here at some point.
No doubt. Back and forth.
Joyner down low with a blocking foul. And Amaya may have taken the worst of that on the foul from Cameron Hill.
You noted a pace, and you know East Carolina wants to impose their fast pace from their defense. But offensively, they have to settle in, run their stuff, execute offense, and crash the boards. That's something that Kim McNeil wanted them to focus on coming into today's game.
This is an ECU team shooting 38% to start the first quarter. Dennis, big pass there to Danae McNeil, who's been held in check in this first quarter. Only 2 shots. Johnson late in the clock, misses. Joyner there to clean it up. And the second chance points, how's that played a factor for ECU?
Oh, that's huge. Obviously, Amaya Joyner, the strength, the athleticism, and height that she has inside, she has to crash the board. She should be averaging a double-double no matter what. Which
leads to a kick ball. In fact, Amaya Joyner has yet to earn a double-double this year. She had 13 as a freshman. And Coach Kim McNeil has challenged Amaya on the boards to step up in that department.
Well, and obviously if you look back at their last few games, they have played tremendous competition, Evan. So it has been a challenge. She hasn't been the biggest player on the floor, but we're hoping that that improves her, challenges her to get better, as she is the dominant player on the floor right now.
First team All-AAC member in the preseason, right in the middle of this matchup zone defense. That leads to a turnover. Nice effort from Danae McNeil. Ahead for Kaya Miller, and the true freshman gets on the board.
Kaya Miller out in front. Great lead for that easy layup for 2.
How does this new defense change things for ECU?
Ooh, it is definitely speeding Hampton up, giving them opportunities.
Speaking of which, a missed layup in transition. And then Weiss throws it into no man's land, and Kopp takes it away. Ahead to Talbot, and a hard foul on Joyner. Nice play by Hampton, taking advantage of the turnover.
Doing a really good job having those active hands. Hampton staying in it. They're not shying away. As you can just see right here, East Carolina with another deflection, and then Hampton coming back into it. And then Talbot, such an athlete, going right at Amaya Joyner.
Talbot's an angry beaver, man. She loves to attack the basket with some aggressiveness. And Kim McNeil wants to see more at her East Carolina club, reigning AAC Coach of the Year. And she noted there are issues in the last 3 games, but things that are self-improvement, things that can be fixed internally for East Carolina.
And they're growing. It's what you call growing pains at this part of the year. And that's what makes it so sweet, that they're growing. In every single game, you get better and better. And that is the challenge that she is making with this club that had tremendous success last year.
Kim noted after a ranked matchup against Ohio State, what do we learn from that experience? And it is curious how this plays out, what you learn in the non-conference from your tougher opponents.
Right, and then it comes down to, like, what can we do, what can we control? And each of these clubs, again, are trying to figure out the lineups, and again, really working through execution offensively and defensively.
Talbot gets the ball back for Hampton, who hasn't hit a field goal in 3 minutes against the switching zone defense. Boston on the attack. Nice pass, but dropped by Dabo in a turnover. That's 5 giveaways for Hampton. An East Carolina team that has completely revamped its lineup today. Sania Johnson, the lone starter from the usual 5.
Hampton in a zone defense right now. How do you beat a zone defense? Ball movement, attack the zone.
Miller with a good look and a rebound for Dennis. Micah gets it back, lets it fly, and hits the 3. Great ball movement from the Pirates.
A really great opportunity that comes from an offensive rebound. That also is huge for the Pirates, not standing and watching, but crashing the boards.
East Carolina dominant in second chance points, 9 today. Now a chance in transition. Dennis with a great find in McNeil, who flips it in.
McNeil running her lane, running the floor. Offense from defense. That is the name of the game.
Hampton looks for points in transition. That's a blocking foul. Dabo will head to the free throw line. And that may be the difference maker for Hampton today, how they break down this press of East Carolina.
And really attack the bottom side of the zone. When East Carolina is in their matchup zone, really attacking the footwork, Evan, of that bottom side. It's tough. You have to have discipline, and right there, so easy to be able to attack and get that blocking foul.
There's a missed free throw for the UMass transfer, Asia Dabo, who came out of New York as the #3 ranked player in the state 2 years ago. Battled through back-to-back ACL injuries, looks healthy tonight, and hits her second. Today, tonight, all the same. Final seconds of this first quarter. Big three, Miller. That's off. Weiss the rebound, and time runs out on a high-scoring first quarter. Well, in a matchup of Pirates, both teams have brought the offense early. It's ECU up 7 through this first quarter.
We call it drive. The unrelenting desire to become the person you were born to be. Ignited by a moment. The realization that a future you could only dream of is within reach. At East Carolina University, you won't just imagine a path. You'll forge one through hard work and the success that comes without surrender. The journey that leads to your future. And this is where it begins.
Welcome back to Greenville. CAA season begins in 2 weeks, believe it or not. And Hampton has some work to do this year under David Six. Finished 9th in the regular season last year. Picked 13th with 4 new starters. This is a big uphill climb for the Pirates.
It really is. And I think, too, you talk about the injuries that have plagued them as well. They're down a few starters. So it is. It's an uphill climb. It's something that David Six is not backing down from. He still has a lot of belief in his team and his club, and obviously Cameron Hill is carrying them thus far.
Towson and Stony Brook, the 2 favorites in the CAA. This is Hampton's 3rd league in 4 years. Quite a challenge even from a coaching side. Learning these new teams, new rivalries. Went from the MEAC to the Big South, now to the CAA. And a reach-in foul to start this second quarter on East Carolina. That's Miller committing her first.
There's a balance here too, Evan, when it comes to a pressure defense like East Carolina has. You've got to have a fine line between also having discipline and to make sure that you're not committing so many fouls early on. But again, good dead ball turnover, or I guess a good dead ball stop right there, and they can set up their defense again.
Amaya Reeves checks into the game and comes up short on the layup. Look at the outlet to McNeil, who runs the lane, but misses the layup. Kim McNeil's noted missing open shots, right? You don't hear coaches say that too often, but it was a point of emphasis this week in practice, hitting our open layups as Hampton turns it over.
Well, and they're second in the nation in turning people over, which means they're going to have so many transition opportunities and fast break potential, so they've got to be able to convert into those easy points.
4 fast break points for East Carolina in the first quarter. Micah Dennis on the attack and takes advantage. Kim McNeil noted she wants 4 in double figures. Well, today she has 7 that have scored. That's a good start.
It really is. Getting more people involved and getting other people to step up. It's only going to help them and take the pressure off Danae McNeil.
McNeil, who averages 17 a game, forces a turnover. Gets it right back. McNeil's in attack mode and is held up in traffic on 264. The reach in there from Amaya Reeves. So a quick breather there for Danae McNeil. These are more, it feels like a 5-in, 5-out for Kim McNeil today. A lot of new faces.
When she told us that she's going to challenge them, she's going to see how people respond, and this is a great opportunity to do that, especially, again, just not the tournament that they wanted down in the Bahamas, trying to see who's going to step up and who can respond. So
Talia Weish and Karina Gordon return for East Carolina. McNeil kicks it out. Johnson misses the three. Look up top, point guard wanted it. Gordon lets it fly off on the three. And a fight for the boards goes to Hampton. Talbot, nice pass ahead. Boston drives in and forces contact, a foul underneath on Talia Weish. And that's all started because of the aggressive drive from Hampton.
Well, Hampton's doing a really good job, as I noted earlier, really attacking that backside, the bottom side of that defense, Evan. And again, it's a one-on-one, so you're challenging them. It's either going to be a charge or a blocking foul.
Hampton entered this game in the bottom 10 in the country in free throw attempts. They'd missed 30 free throws in the first 5 games. So Arlisha Boston comes into the free throw line. That's been a big bugaboo for Hampton this year. 58%. Goes 50-50 there.
Well, East Carolina was plagued by free throws last year as well, and it's a mental thing. All of these girls have been shooting free throws since they were so little. It just becomes such a mental thing. You just got to keep it simple from the free throw line.
Dennis breaks down the defense, finds Joyner. Can't hit. Second chance. We'll head to the free throw line. And you can see from Joyner visibly just a bit frustrated with the start offensively.
It's so tough when you leave this one right there hanging at the rim. Again, I noted earlier, her best finishes are almost sometimes just going straight at the backboard.
David Six challenging his team to box out with only 10 healthy players. Rebounding is going to be huge. And David's club, who just 3 years ago won 18 games, it's been an uphill climb at 0-5. And guarding Amaya Joyner, the all-conference forward for East Carolina, will add to those list of worries.
Oh, it is a challenge for sure, keeping her hands away from it, but also boxing her out, keeping her off the O-boards.
One more substitute for Hampton. Boston will re-enter for Cobb here. Hampton's starting 5 averages 35 minutes a game or more, and it's been a grind. Back-to-back road losses. This is a 6-game road trip that will end at the end of December. And now a kickball turnover, that time from Cheyenne Talbot. An East Carolina team that's shooting just 1 of 5 in the second quarter, yet has extended its lead to 9, largest of the day. Here's Amaya Joyner, the hometown native from Farmville, North Carolina, hits the jumper.
Great stroke for her. She's truly a guard forward. Really great mid-range.
Another turnover for Hampton. That's the 3rd straight giveaway for the Pirates. And what has East Carolina done to force these mistakes?
Well, they've imposed their trap, their half-court trap, and that has really sped Hampton up and has prevented them from getting into their offense and letting them find some rhythm.
East Carolina 2nd in the country in forced turnovers behind Texas. An ECU team that led the country in turnover margin last year. That's been a staple for Kim McNeil. Now Joyner 1v1 into her bag and a swat. Big time rejection there from Dabo.
Hampton doing a really good job containing her, keeping her at front, and not fouling, but controlling her.
Look at all the attention and
in the
Joyner,
paint, yes.
Draws a pack of Pirates. Johnson looks to break through. takes about 8 steps and a shot clock violation. Well, no traveling was called. There certainly was a turnover there, and it's a shot clock violation.
It just went to a team turnover instead of Sania.
This is not an ice rink. You can't slide across it.
Oh, man.
A dribble and a pivot would be encouraged.
It's like watching my 5-year-old play basketball.
Ariana Wilkes breaks the press with 5,000 plus elementary school kids here all across Pitt County. Last year set a program record, 6,600 in attendance.
So fun.
I think they'll be close today.
I think they've got to be close.
Talbot late in the clock with a big jumper for Hampton.
Talbot with a big time pull-up.
And that's a basket Hampton needs as this game starts to slip away.
It really is. 2 games ago, she had 25 and 7, Evan, and that just goes to show you she knows how to score and knows what it takes to contribute for her team.
That was in a loss to New Mexico State up at LIU in a tournament. Gordon locks in her second 3 of the day, and a timeout here for David 6. We'll take the timeout. East Carolina extends its lead to 12. It's a 3-point party early for the matchup of Pirates and Pirates. Early on in the American Athletic, there were some heavy hitters coming in. South Florida reigning regular season champs, and East Carolina the reigning tournament champs at 1-2. Now it's worth noting North Texas, who was voted in the bottom 5, are 6-1. UAB's 5-1. There are some teams making moves early in America.
It really is. South Florida also receiving votes as well. And this conference has only gotten better, and obviously the new additions as well. Again, such a competitive conference. But what I love, again, right now, a lot of these programs, they're playing high-level teams right now. South Florida just lost a tough one to Texas, but this is a time for each of these programs to get better and then get even more competitive once conference play comes around.
Which begins at the end of December, believe it or not, and nearly a forced turnover there for Kim McNeil.
It's tough with all the holidays and everything coming and going. The conference play comes quick, and a lot of these freshmen have to grow up pretty quick and contribute to each of their programs.
An ECU team that started 3 freshmen today, 1 sophomore, her first career start, and the senior Sania Johnson is up top. Facing a Hampton team that has struggled to score in this second quarter. Hill kicks it out. Talbot lets it fly. And a rebound there for Danae McNeil. Gordon has provided huge scoring relief and nearly hits her third 3 as that goes out of play. The balance, though, if you're East Carolina, you have to like the balance in scoring.
Absolutely, and you want obviously to get the freshmen to have that confidence like Karina to knock those down and to really open it up and to respect that three-point line. Then they can work it inside.
There's a miss from Boston, a volleyball tap that goes to Bobby Smith, and finally a whistle. That's a jump ball. That'll keep possession for East Carolina. A lot of physicality there on that turnover.
No doubt. The offensive boards, obviously Hampton doing a good job crashing, but those loose balls are so important, and Hampton doing whatever they can to stay in this game.
Dangerous pass and an offensive foul on Joyner. Amaya there commits an unnecessary foul. And she'll be subbed out for Tatiana Weish.
Just an unfortunate move right there, trying to impose her physicality, but with control, you can't extend your arm. And again, an offensive foul, giving her 2 fouls, headed to the bench.
North Texas, by the way, with that 6-1 start. Best record in program history. As Gordon gets the steal, bounces it ahead to McNeil, who heads to the free throw line. And these opportunities in transition, this is an area of emphasis now for East Carolina.
It really is. Finishing at the rim. Going hard, going tough. They're providing the opportunities, but again, just got to finish those layups.
A Hampton team that was 500 in the league last year, but keep this in mind. All-conference forward Nyla Young transferred to William & Mary in conference.
Wow.
3 other starters gone and have struggled to win basketball games, especially on the offensive end this year.
Yeah, it's obviously tough for morale. Coach David Six doing a great job keeping the morale up, trying to build something with this group. Again, just reminding them, keeping perspective for these girls. That is all that matters right now. And again, there's a lot of grit, there's a lot of fight with this team.
We have a turnover here for Amaya Reeves, and all of a sudden East Carolina is forcing turnovers like a carnival. They're racking up quickly, 11 in this first half.
Just a little bit of pressure that they're imposing on Hampton, and they're just not able to handle it.
Against the zone defense, great passing to Smith, who tried the extra pass, and instead a turnover.
Difficult right there, but Bobby Smith needs to go tough to the rim and get a foul or finish.
Hill has an open shooter. Talbot is blocked out. Hampton needs a bucket. Haven't scored in 2 minutes. That'll continue. Offensive rebound and a foul. Great effort by Dabo down low.
Hampton did a really good job right there with ball movement. Anytime you're up against a matching zone, a matchup zone, you've got to move the basketball. Got a great inside look.
So Bobby Smith called for the foul. She'll sub out for Jade Tillman, the freshman. A Hampton team that's had self-inflicted wounds recently. 4 turnovers in 4 minutes. As the referees check the clock real quick. Okay, we're given the green light. Oh my gosh. You give that many kids soda, like a Starry, this place is going to be bonkers in the second half.
And Sour Patch Kids.
And popcorn and Sour Patch Kids. Good luck for the parents.
And guess what? They'll send them home.
That is like loading a rocket with some soda and just
Shaking
shooting it out. Yeah.
Yep.
And a mint, and you mix it in, and you let it explode. 5,000 plus elementary school kids here today, and a timeout for David Six. And Brittany, if you're East Carolina right now, fresh off 3 straight losses, Kim McNeil said we need to use this week with Hampton, Coppin State, Maryland Eastern Shore to bounce back. What have you seen from the Pirates so far?
Well, they've done a really good job imposing their defense, which is their identity. If you look back over those few games, again, they won their first 2. They dropped those next few road games. VCU was tough, Evan. They left way too many free throws there and unfortunately had a loss. And then they went down to Bahamas. Phenomenal experience, she said. The weather was unbelievable. Her kids win. What a amazing opportunity that they were able to have down there, but just not able to get it done. But you know what? They played quality teams, and they were able to really just see who do they have? What bench do they have? What players can they put in lineups? And she said it was a great challenge, and she is still fully confident that they are one of the best teams in the American.
It certainly helps with the reigning preseason All-Player of the Year, Danae McNeil, who scored in double figures every game. But that secondary scoring's been the question. Who can step up? Today it's been balanced. 5 players with 4 or more. Gordon off on the 3, and that goes out of bounds.
A great look right there. However, maybe missing the last 2. Get some ball reversals and try to get an even more open look for Gordon.
An East Carolina team that right now is in the bottom 50 in the country in scoring, and Kim's noted that. Need to find more production as Hill nearly hits the 3. It's a young lineup. 2 freshmen, a couple of transfers, and the senior and Micah Dennis right there with the ball.
Hampton packing the paint.
Nice pass from Dennis, sets up McNeil, and that's how you open up the offense. Big 3.
Really great job drawing the defense. Baseline drive, baseline drift. That's just great basketball.
That's ECU's first 3 since the early minutes of the second quarter. And a turnover on the other side for Dabo.
The sideline has plagued Hampton a lot today, Evan. It's tough. Anytime you're on the sideline, you're close to going out of bounds, your feet, your hands. Again, Hampton just doesn't have a lot of discipline today with taking care of the basketball.
Came into this game averaging 20 turnovers a game. Have commit 15 today, and a loose ball on the miss will go the other way. It looks like McNeil is the confident shooter in this lineup, but East Carolina is looking for other players to step up and hit shots.
No doubt. Micah Dennis so close to double figures as well. Again, obviously, right now we have Maya Joyner out. Sania Johnson there averaging 8. So again, right on the line of different people getting double-figure averages.
Another turnover for Hampton. That's 14 giveaways in this first half. That's a hard number to overcome, especially in a low-scoring game like this.
It really is. When just a game ago with LIU, they only had 16 for the entire game, Evan. But this is what East Carolina does. They impose their pace on other people.
Jade Tillman sets up an opening. McNeil now cuts through every defender and misses the jumper. Talbot would love to run here. 1v3. Nice hands from Johnson. It'll stay here. You almost want to see Talbot look up and distribute that out to Boston.
Absolutely. A 2-on-1 right now. Again, what she needs to do, Talbot has got to draw McNeil to her. So she's got to almost maybe go right at her. She was getting ready to cross over, and then that was able for Sania Johnson to get a tip on it.
Good hands there for McNeil again. When you're an offensive player and ECU's pressing at this level, what problems does this cause?
Well, it speeds you up mentally, which more importantly, you have to be the calmest player out there, right, despite what the defense is doing.
And it's an ECU team that forces 25 turnovers a game. They do it against everybody.
Everybody. So Hampton has just got to, in offensively, you've got to be patient, you've got to be strong and tough with the basketball, and then find opportunities, find gaps, because there are gaps.
As the clock ticks under 5, good look underneath for Dabo and breaks down that defense.
She does. Great in attacking that backside, that bottom line, Evan. It's one-on-one down there. It's a really great offense for Hampton if they can attack that bottom side. Back
to a 12-point game. ECU scored just 12 points in this second quarter. This Hampton zone causing a bit of trouble here for East Carolina. So Weiss works it down low, heaves up a prayer, and that'll stay here. With both Weiss sisters on the court, Talia and Tatiana.
It's so fun for them being on the floor together. Obviously, tremendous chemistry between the two. Kim McNeil, big challenge she has for them is having a scoring mentality.
Johnson hits a 3 at the buzzer, and that'll open up the offense for ECU.
Sania Johnson, a three-pointer, maybe not her overall strength, Evan, but she can knock it down.
Big bucket for the Pirates. First 3 of the year for Johnson, and a foul the other way. That was on the drive. So Reeves heads to the free throw line. final minute, and these are minutes Hampton cannot let slip away in a 15-point game.
No, and they did a great job right there after a score going downhill and really trying to get East Carolina when they're at a weakness, when they're trying to set their defense up.
Kaya Miller, the freshman, will re-enter for East Carolina. And now Maya Reeves, who's in her 31st career start, heads to the free throw line. That is the one consistent returner for Hampton. All 4 starters either graduated or transferred to Colorado, UMass, Richmond, William & Mary, and Lamar.
And that's where it's difficult, right? As a head coach, you got to recruit your own players to keep them, to retain them, and it's just difficult with rhythm from year to year.
A late reach-in foul as we hit the final minute. That's on Cameron Hill. Her 3rd foul in this final minute of the half. And David Six only has 10 healthy players, so you start managing minutes and players here. So he'll force a hand. Ariana Wilkes comes in out of Columbia to sub in for Hill.
Yeah, the lack of depth that they have right now is just so difficult, Evan, to not be able to go to the bench and get multiple players. They've only been playing around 7 or 8 players the last few games, dressing 10.
Here's Talia Weish, bangs into bodies and draws one on Wilkes. That puts ECU now in the bonus for the rest of the quarter.
What's great too with this lineup right now, Evan, is you see the Twins coming with a lot of experience from Florida, obviously a very highly respected program. But what I love is the length that they bring to this lineup, the depth that they bring. Obviously, Amaya Joyner brought a lot of value last year with her height, but that's something that they need, some athletic post players, some height, so that they can compete with the best of the best come conference time.
Ticking under a minute to go in this first half. The Florida transfers, Talia and Tatiana Weish, push this lead to 16. And a miss on the layup from Boston. That'll go the other way. The Weish sisters at Florida were defensive specialists, rebounders, and now trying to be scorers, especially in this first half.
It is a mindset shift. It is something that is going to have to be nurtured and watered and grown. And she said it starts in practice, and that's the goal for these Twins.
Dennis on a nice find to Miller. Everyone touching the rock here for East Carolina. Weish backs into 2, heaves one up, and traveled before the shot. All that great ball movement and a turnover on the back end.
Sometimes something like that can be forced, right? If it's not there, get a ball reversal and post back up and get body position in a cleaner way.
Can Hampton take advantage? Wilkes in transition. She herself took an extra step. And Hampton with 15 first half turnovers.
They did a really good job right there breaking the press, Evan. Again, it just comes down to taking care of the basketball.
Final seconds for East Carolina. Dennis on the blow by, missed it. Rebound Talbot, and she's fouled, which means free throws here for Talbot. That's a costly mistake if you're Weish reaching in.
It really is, and it comes down to watching that ball go up. It's so important.
There's 1 second left in the half.
Right. You've got to crash the boards. I remember Kim McNeil telling us last year, sometimes her team looks like tourists in New York City with their heads up, kind of looking, but you've got to crash the boards. You
in the Jewelry District, or you're at the ice skating rink at NBC Plaza? Where are you at? Statue of Liberty?
No, I'm shopping. That's what I'm doing. I'm shopping.
Second free throw here for Talbot to end this first half. Gets Hampton back within 14 points. Now it's a catch and heave scenario. That shot is not off in time and will end the first half. In a nautical matchup of Pirates, it's East Carolina up 14 early. Everyone getting involved, including 8 from Danae McNeil as we head to break.
Hello and welcome inside the American Studios. I'm Morgan Uber. The American football regular season finales did not disappoint. We have a number of our top plays this week from the gridiron, and we start with a showdown in the Big Easy with UTSA at Tulane at number 5, a battle of the undefeateds in conference play. Second quarter, Michael Pratt drops back, looks deep, and airs one out to Chris Brazzle. Brazzle dazzle, hauling it in with one hand. What a grab to set up the score for Tulane, and the Green Wave roll, finishing on top 29-16. At number 4, we go to the hardwood, Arkansas-Memphis in the battle for Atlantis semifinals. Malcolm Dandridge denial. The Tigers now dangerous in transition. Caleb Mills with the lob for Jaquan Walton with the slam. The Tigers roar their way to an 84-79 victory over number 20 Arkansas. Coming in at number 3, the regular season finale for Charlotte and South Florida, all knotted up in the first quarter with Dantes Fagan with the takeaway. Fagan with the all-out hustle, making a diving grab as he goes and gets it. The right place, right time, with great anticipation for his first interception of the season. We've got more from this game at number 2 in the fourth quarter. Bulls on the 1 looking to add to their lead. Byron Brown to Naeem Simmons. Ball magnet. A one-handed TD grab to put the exclamation point on it. And with the dub, the Bulls hit magic number 6 to become bowl eligible. Finally, at number 1, men's hoops, East Carolina hosting Kennesaw State. The Owls float one in to go up 2. Now with 2.5 ticks left, the Pirates, living on a prayer from half court, Bobby Pettiford Jr. calls game. They don't call it Mingus Magic for nothing. Bobby buckets with ice in his veins as he went on to put up a career-high 18 points and gave his team a celebration to last a lifetime in the memorable 1-point victory. Remember, if you ever see a top play happen live, you can always let us know on social media using the hashtag #AmericanTopPlays, and let us know on social media at American_Conf. Be sure to keep it right here on ESPN Plus, as we've got much more coming up for you right after this short break.
This place is rowdy and raucous on Education Day, and they've enjoyed a good matchup of Pirates so far. East Carolina up 13 over Hampton at halftime. And the big reason why in this game is the balanced scoring and the points off turnovers for ECU.
Well, when they started that three-quarter court press and that half-court press, when they imposed that, Evan, it truly changed the game. And Hampton has just struggled. Obviously, taking care of the basketball has been a major issue for them today, and obviously also finding offense.
In this first half, it started early with Hampton attacking the basket, but then East Carolina flipped its offense and got things rolling.
Karina Gordon has done a great job opening up that three-point line. The size is definitely in favor of East Carolina.
Hampton led for much of the first quarter with Hill and Talbot getting going.
They really did a good job of staying in the fight. Obviously, Amaya Joyner right there, using her size, getting those O boards. Dennis with the big-time open shot. Making open shots is so important, especially against a zone defense. And yeah, Johnson there with the two that just got corrected a few moments ago.
5 3-pointers for ECU, and then the big number is down low, those points in the paint that really started kicking in the second quarter.
Yeah, definitely. And also, too, that it's not on there, but they're fast break points. They only have 5. They've got to improve that number and really finish those layups, Evan, out in transition. I do want to focus for East Carolina, 15 threes. That's a good number. However, don't get comfortable from behind the three-point line. Their strength is in the paint. That is who they are, and they have the size difference that they are able to pack it in and really finish inside.
7 different players scored for East Carolina. Hampton had 3 big ones, Talbot, Dabo, and Hill. Right now, though, if you're Hampton, 23 points, you have to find production in the second half.
Yeah, they really do. They started becoming a little bit more aggressive versus that zone defense, really attacking that bottom side, which is exactly how you beat a zone defense. Ball reversals and really go to that bottom line, going one-on-one. So I'm excited for this second half. I think Hampton has what it takes. They have the players. Can they get someone else involved to help them offensively?
Gearing up for the second half. We'll get you back in a couple of minutes. East Carolina and Hampton in a fun Education Day here in Greenville. Welcome back to Greenville, East Carolina, up 13. Couple of big players in this first half. And if you're the Hampton Pirates, Cheyenne Talbot has stepped up in the scoring load. 9 points and playing aggressive in that first half.
Well, she's just so athletic. I love her game. As you can see, she is small but mighty. Look at her inside, getting those boards. And she's just tough. She is at a pull-up game. She's getting in, getting boards. Bringing a lot of energy in this first half. She had 5 rebounds, 9 points, as you see right there.
And playing through pain today, too.
Gotta stretch out those hip flexors, Evan.
Those obliques and those hips. Shakira said they don't lie, and there's some major truth to that. So Talbot's led the way with 9, and then for East Carolina, Danae McNeil, especially in that second quarter, 8 critical points.
Well, she truly loves to get her offense from her defense, and she's so good when she's out in transition. That is her strength. Really good right here. Open, wide open shot, making it count. She's activated her pull-up game, getting to the rim. She can do it all. She's getting a little bit of help today, but 8 points, 5 steals for her in this first half.
Danae came off the bench today. 4 new starters for ECU, so 22 bench points. Well, that's not sustainable. The balance with 7 on the board certainly is.
Well, and it's getting other people the confidence to be in this lineup, and it's really challenging those former starters. Hey, are you going to step up? How are you going to be coming off the bench? Are you going to have a good attitude and elevate the level of play?
There's Petey the Pirate. You know, it's fitting with matchup of Pirates. There's a Pirate mascot, too, roaming around. 5,000 kids plus. Bonkers.
A lot of sugar
Oh, the
is in
mohawk.
the building.
Look at the little mohawk in the middle there.
Impressive, and I love all the purple. So much purple and gold in the building today.
Kids all across Pitt County here for Education Day.
I know my 5-year-old son was a little upset. He's like, why can't I come? Like, when you get older.
Kid McNeil's son, who plays local Little League baseball here, he somehow got a front row seat.
Front row.
He left his school that was down there. Which,
They were begging their mom and dad, can we not sit with our class?
Her son, Caden, and her daughter, Gabby, they were running around today.
They had to pull a few strings.
I think they know some folks in the building.
I think so.
Their mom and dad, Corey and Kim McNeil, are on staff here at East Carolina. Early in this third quarter, Hampton struggled to score in the second quarter, just 10 points. So Cameron Hill bounces one into traffic and a turnover. 16 giveaways for the Hampton Pirates.
Definitely not what David Six is looking for with his club. I'm sure out of halftime, he is looking for his players to take care of the basketball.
ECU forcing turnovers like one of the best teams in the country. They're second in turnover margin coming in. And it's ECU with the turnover, and then Bobby Smith the foul, resisting the fast break. That was an area we did not see from Hampton in the first quarter and causing some trouble here in the third.
So you're definitely going to see maybe a little bit of change for them, hopefully a little bit more spark coming out of the halftime, being down 13. Hopefully a little bit more energy from Hampton.
Hampton's in the midst of a 6-game road trip that'll end December 21st when they host St. Peter's. A Hampton team that'll play 17 games on the road in 11 different states. It is a busy non-conference season. Hill goes down low, and Dabo's there to clean it up. Great ball movement by Hampton.
Great job, Hill, finding the open teammate, attacking that zone, and finding 2.
Only 3 assists in the first half for Hampton. That's a hard way to win. So Weiss works down low, finds her sister, and that's offensive. Tatiana Weiss called for the charge right into Hill. Will get subbed out after the hard bump there. That's a well-deserved break if you're Cameron Hill.
Difficult right there. Tatiana Weiss picking up her 3rd foul. Just unfortunate. Again, there's a level of control that you have to have as a post player in the paint.
So her twin sister, Talia Weiss, stays in along with Amaya Joyner. Let's see if Hampton can break the press better in the second half at 15 first half turnovers. Reeves right in the face of Gordon.
Again, quick ball reversals, less time with the ball on the floor.
Dabo off on the three. Joyner tips it out. Helping ECU now +3 in the rebounding. Johnson blows in and gets a foul on Amaya Reeves.
Tamia Johnson is really good when she gets out in transition. Got a defensive stop there. Trying to get down for 2.
And Kid McNeil said they must find a way, ECU, to score off the glass today. Be aggressive on the offensive boards. And ECU now has 12 second chance points. It was an area of major weakness in the Bahamas in those Ohio State and Seton Hall games. It's interesting talking to a coach who just won a conference title, but she noted, hey, we're not a winning program by nature. And then learning how to win can be challenging in these stretches.
Yeah, and she noted too, obviously they're returning 84% of their scoring, but there's still new players and there's still new individuals in this group. So it's trying to get them involved and trying to find really a rhythm and really get the kinks out this early in the year.
East Carolina forces its 17th turnover. That's one area that's traveled defensively. And on the opposite side, ECU has to take advantage and score. How do they do it off these turnovers?
Well, they've got to be able to convert, really get in, set up their offense, or if it's in transition, to finish on the other end.
As Joyner gets a nice look but can't hit. ECU struggling to shoot today, 36%. And they've held Hampton to a low scoring total. Fresh off the Hampton Pirates' highest scoring game of the year at 56. Talbot in the middle of the zone. There's a lot of space. Dabo, oh boy, a little off on that one. And part of that's got to be defensive pressure, right?
Absolutely. Like we noted earlier, it gets in your head, and Dabo right there was wide open. No one was guarding her. Everyone was retreated under the rim. She's got to be aggressive and go to the bucket.
So East Carolina can reset up 13. McNeil, the nice pass. 10 assists on 14 baskets. That's the dream as a coach. Everyone touching the rock, even on this possession. Clock to 6. Weish on the assist, and that's great ball movement from East Carolina.
It's really good patience right there. Ball reversals. Everyone got a touch twice before a bucket in the paint. That's really good offense.
Weish becomes the 8th player to score for ECU. A lot of balance today. Dabo works the baseline and misses it. And now the largest lead of the day could add 2 more on a filthy dime to McNeil.
That's really great transition right there. Danae McNeil out in front. That is her game.
And those are the points in transition Kid McNeil has asked from her team.
Those easy buckets. You got to be able to finish those easy ones at the rim.
Talbot on a difficult finish. Then a tip drill. Johnson, great find to McNeil. And how about the Pirates running in transition?
They are getting it done. They heard me at halftime say, hey, we got to finish those fast break buckets. Got to give it to East Carolina converting their defense into offense. Back-to-back transition points. East Carolina up 19.
Another busy day in the American Athletic Conference. These games are all tonight. The big one to watch, though, FAU with top scorer Anaya Hubbard head to Nebraska for a Big Ten matchup. I always love those Power 5 meetings. And then Memphis under new coach Alex Simmons. They won a big-time upset against nationally ranked Marquette.
Wow, so many good games. Again, as we're approaching time of exams, a lot of these teams and programs are going to have about a good 7 to 10 day break for exams. But this is when programs get better. They're playing out of conference. They're playing top 25 teams. And this is when some kinks are getting out, but also this is when they can get stronger and better.
UAB at 5-1, look to continue that hot start. And a turnover converts it. This is a 10-0 run for Danae McNeil, who's taken over.
Well, and it helps too when you can finish at the rim. Great quick pass and no dribble. I love that. Danae McNeil didn't even need to put it on the floor. Just catch and finish.
ECU is forcing turnovers at a crazy rate today. A 3-minute scoring drought for Hampton. A 10-0 run has really put this game out of reach in the third quarter.
Done a great job responding after halftime. Kim McNeil told us this week their third quarter has been slow. And that's, I know that's been a point of emphasis for her and for her group today.
An ECU team that's forcing havoc. 18 turnovers and a foul here on Hampton. Or pardon me, on East Carolina. If you're Hampton here, haven't scored in 3 minutes, how do you slow this game down and get a bucket?
Well, most importantly, take care of the basketball and get into your half-court offense as Talbot is trying to go to her strength.
Talbot goes right to the bucket, unable to get the foul. Johnson the other way in transition. She is lightning quick, and that'll stay here. The lone starter who was elected to stay in the lineup, Kim McNeil, shifted everything, minus Johnson.
Well, she's truly their emotional leader, their captain. Again, carried them in so many different ways last year in the conference tournament. She's truly the heartbeat of Kim McNeil's team, doing all the details.
Sitting in her 86th career game today. Feeds Joyner down low, slips to the floor, and somehow saves that ball. We'll stay here with East Carolina. Hampton's up the intensity a little bit on this possession.
Jumping passing lanes, getting tips on balls.
Micah Dennis with the clock at 10, and a growing East Carolina lead leads to a deep 2 for Danae McNeil.
How about a third quarter for Danae McNeil?
So she's matched her season average, 17 a game. It's unique as an elite scorer like McNeil. Has not scored more than 22, but not less than 15 in a single game. Nice bucket for Talbot on the other end.
It is. It's impressive for her, and I think for her even coming off the bench today, what a great response she has had to just play her game, no matter if she's in the starting lineup or not.
A turnover there for Johnson, and McNeil, the preseason All-AAC Player of the Year. That hasn't happened in ECU in over a decade. Those are big shoes to fill if you're the fifth-year senior.
Tremendous accomplishment. She just needs to play with utmost freedom and just joy of being on the floor and, again, carrying this program.
As Cameron Hill hits the jumper. So Hill up to 7 points. And we asked coming in, where was the balance for East Carolina's offense? Well, 8 have scored, now 1 in double figures. A couple on the fringe of 10 points.
Yeah, she noted she wants Amaya Joyner to continue to maintain that double-digit average.
And McNeil said, I'll take care of business myself. 20 for Danae.
A huge 3 for Danae McNeil, playing with so much confidence and authority in this third quarter.
McNeil did score in the Bahamas, averaged 15 a game, but it was the secondary scoring that wasn't there.
That's right.
ECU was held in the 50s twice. Today, though, they'll look well beyond the 50s. As Talbot into some traffic, unable to convert. Weish with 8. Joyner has 7. Dennis 5. A lot of balance. And McNeil's having herself a shooting spree. Can't hit that one. I guess when you're hot, you got to let it fly.
That's right. She has the green light, no doubt.
Good block there for Weish. And now a loose ball will send us to the media timeout. This has certainly been the Danae McNeil third quarter coming to life for her Pirates. 12 in the third, and it's all ECU. Welcome back to Greenville. These news and notes brought to you by Grady White Boats. So no undefeated teams left in the AAC. North Texas finally dethroned as the last undefeated. And then some big favorites, USF in a tough battle with Alabama. You see Tulsa there, had a tough one against Mississippi State, nationally ranked team, but battling it out. And so far in the American, there's been a lot of parity in the league, and you're not sure who's elite and who's right in the middle of the field.
Well, and Kim McNeil noted to us already that she's watched a lot of film, and a lot of the different programs right now, they're also working out some kinks as well, but she still believes that they still stand as one of the top teams in the American Athletic Conference.
Gearing up for the final week of non-conference play before semester finals for both these schools. Great outlet pass. And we have a 3 in the key against Bobby Smith. Tonight starts the ACC SEC Challenge, and it headlines at one of the big games, Notre Dame and Tennessee, 2 nationally ranked teams. Have you seen Hannah Hidalgo, the freshman for Notre Dame?
Yes.
National Player of the Week as a true freshman and an elite scorer with Olivia Miles out for the year.
Oh, so exciting. Again, the first time this inaugural challenge between these two big-time conferences. A lot of great basketball coming up this week.
There are 10 ranked teams between the 2 leagues. There's a missed shot by Hampton. Really shows the depth of both those conferences.
It really does.
You have NC State back in the top 10, now at 5th. South Carolina, of course, with Dawn Staley, the national favorites, who will come here to Greenville at the end of December.
On ESPN, too, I believe.
I know it's early in the year, but how much do rankings matter a month in the season?
Not much. It's just great to be recognized at such a high level and early on in the season. But
as Danae McNeil gets the offensive board.
But nothing matters till February and March when it all counts.
And then in bracketology season. Oh, nice blow by for Micah Dennis, able to bank it in. She's an Oklahoma State transfer.
Micah Dennis has brought a lot. Once she started last year, she never looked back at leading this group as a point guard.
Louisville and Ole Miss in another ranked matchup in the ACC SEC Challenge. God, you look up those rankings. With Stanford joining the ACC next year, that league gets loaded. At SMU, a good addition out of the American right here.
I'm really excited for the Virginia Tech and LSU game tomorrow night. I will definitely be watching that one for sure.
Yeah, Angel Reese has been out the last 2 weeks as Hill hits the jumper. Curious, part injury, part getting in the rotation, but it's been a slow start for LSU. Not the case for McNeil, who had 12 points in the third quarter. Now Talbot runs the break. Blows into one and banks it in. Big finish for Cheyenne Talbot.
Talbot is best when she is going downhill and to her right. Really good pause, hesitation, and she goes up and finds the backboard.
You seen the Nickelodeon show Cat Dog?
Oh, yes.
I think Cheyenne Talbot's a cat dog. She just bursts out of the gate. She's got a little dual personality to her. But when she's in attack mode, she's even got the split hair down the middle.
That's right.
And when she's attacking the basket, good luck. Could not finish the three-point play for the junior guard. It is interesting reading the Charlie Cream bracketology early, especially with, okay, here it is a month in. Duke is a last four team in.
Right.
Which is such a hard thing to project this early as Weish gets on the board. Tatiana Weish. Her sister, Talia, has 8 points tonight.
Been great production coming from them. Kim McNeil noted if they both could score 8 points a game, it's only going to help elevate this team, especially offensively.
To your point, McNeil's a walking 15 to 20 point player. She'll be first team all conference. But then the secondary pieces off of that is Weish got a piece of that ball. That's where ECU at times has fallen into scoring droughts.
Yes. Getting another person in those double-digit figures, getting a Maya Joyner to be consistent each and every single game also.
As McNeil's called for the foul on Dabo. Asia straight out of the Queens, and she visited her home state from Brooklyn a couple weeks ago.
Great catch right there, going up, hit on the head.
Much to McNeil's surprise. And of course, Asia Dabo in her home state put up 14 and 9 in her return to LIU Brooklyn.
I love that. It's always so fun. I remember in college when we would go to Texas or go to Florida, and they would get to play in front of so many friends and family.
So rebound here for Micah Dennis, who's out of Toronto, Ontario. I don't think there's any homecomings coming up soon for her. Although I did see on the men's basketball side, there was a Big South NEC Challenge in Montreal.
Fun.
Earlier this year. Off on the three, offensive board, Weish. And the twin sisters are putting on a show.
Tatiana catch and go back up.
That's 12 combined points for the sisters. Which, if you're Kim McNeil, that checks a big box.
It really does. And this is the week, again, 3 games in about 10 days right now for East Carolina. This is when confidence is built, right? You can't replicate game experience, especially for them as newcomers. Yes, they were at Florida, but for them in this system, you cannot replicate it. This is giving them the confidence they need to contribute at a high level.
The foul on Bobby Smith sends Talbot to the free throw line, who went off in Brooklyn. She was like Kyrie Irving one night, had 25 and 12, and then 4 or 5 assists mixed in. This is a player, if you're Hampton, you lose Nyla Young, 4 top scorers. Talbot's a piece that could be huge in CAA play.
Absolutely. She's definitely going to need to be consistent offensively, continue to get Cameron Hill involved, and hopefully they'll get some of their other injured players back just to help them in CAA play.
Leasia Foreman has been out for a month. She's an all-conference caliber guard. And then Tyra Kennedy has been in and out of the lineup. This is a young team for Hampton. We see the news of the portal with coaches like Mike Elko taking the A&M job, but then there's the other side of it where your team all departs via transfer, and it's kind of all hands on deck. As here's Weish on the boards, rolling it out right at the end of the third quarter. Well, the portal's kind to the Pirates. Weish and company up 22 after 3 quarters.
We call it drive. The unrelenting desire to become the person you were born to be. Ignited by a moment. The realization that a future you could only dream of is within reach. At East Carolina University, you won't just imagine a path. You'll forge one through hard work and the success that comes without surrender. The journey that leads to your future. And this is where it begins.
Right here, quick buckets, great hands right there, phenomenal pass from Cynthia Johnson, finishing at a high level, and why not make an open three? And how about another one, Evan? Danae McNeil is just dynamite offensively. She's so confident. A third quarter for her.
That's 2 points shy of her season high, and I don't know how many minutes she'll play in this fourth quarter. And Kim McNeil asked for her offense to respond after a slow week in the Bahamas. That's the kind of start ECU needed.
She challenged them, benched her starters, wanted to see how they would respond, and I would say she responded pretty well.
It is all East Carolina, especially after the first 5 minutes when Hampton went basket for basket. Just no answers defensively. Kimora Jenkins kicks it out. Good ball movement to Kaya Miller, the true freshman, off on the three. And a foul on Miller, fighting for her rebound against Hampton's Tyra Kennedy.
Really good offense right there. A lot of ball reverses and touches. Hampton was steady the entire time.
Hampton has struggled against this press. 18 turnovers for the Hampton Pirates. This reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean, ship versus ship, searching for the Black Pearl. Only 3 Pirates in Division I basketball, Seton Hall and these two. Which means we need a couple of ladies on swords, daggering each other in between quarters. They did play the no quarter video in the venue, and the place went nuts. Although then again, on Education Day, you could play anything, and the kids would go nuts.
I think they know more songs than you and I.
Good luck with 5,000 kids. You could get this place rolling pretty quickly. Baby Shark would have the place rocking.
Exactly. I was totally thinking about that.
The ball movement of the Pirates has also brought this place to life. Double-figure assists today. Here's Joyner inside at 10, feeds Weish, and she's got double-figure points.
So big for the Pirates, for East Carolina, again sharing the basketball.
Now a steal for Weish, who feeds the freshman, and that's offensive. Talbot takes the charge. I did misspeak a moment ago. 6 for Tatiana and 8 for Talia. So if you combine them like in kicking and screaming and they're a superhuman, then you got double figures at 14.
But that's so important, and that's what Kim McNeil wants. She wants offensive production from them, for them to have a mindset. They are an offensive players. They're not just out there for their size and their hands.
The lead's ballooned to 24, and a jump ball here will keep possession with Hampton. This is a level of physicality from East Carolina that Kim McNeil had asked of her club. It looks like they've responded, especially so far today.
They really have done a good job defensively, again, imposing their style, their pace, challenging Hampton. Are they going to take care of the basketball? And they have struggled. 19 turnovers so far today.
Hill breaks the press. Great find, and the conversion for Ariana Wilkes.
Ball reversals, great bounce pass, easy bucket.
And that was the ball movement Hampton had in the first quarter where they scored 13. We haven't seen it as much since.
It's because that they've really pushed them and taken them out of system. They haven't really been able to run their stuff.
Instead, Hampton with 4 second-half turnovers. Great ball movement, and a deep 2 barely touches net. Those are the trick shots in horse you try to pull off, but they don't work in the game. Look at Talbot on an island. Into some traffic. Wow, nearly pulled off the three-point play. If I'm David Six, this might become a 4-guard Talbot offense. Let her go to work.
Absolutely. Ball reverse, find her, give her the ball, and let her do her thing.
She was All-State at Mount Vernon High School in New York. And here's Cheyenne Talbot, been on the bench her first 2 years, but has made an impact now for Hampton. Backed up an all-conference guard and Lauren Van Arsdale, and then top 10 in career games played, Ashley Bates at Hampton. 2 elite players that have both transferred out. So it's Talbot's turn.
I think the transfer portal too, it allows other people to then step up.
And we have a foul here on ECU after the made free throw. Yeah, foul on Amaya Joyner.
Interesting.
Okay, that elbow possibly.
Yeah, an extension of the elbow. It can extend.
Desperation save, and that goes out of bounds. Hampton with its 20th turnover. And as a coach, you've been in these moments at Liberty. You have a young team, 5 new starters. The mental mistakes are hurting Hampton more than anything else.
No doubt. And what will happen is, when I remember playing and even being a coach, you'd look back at all the turnovers, right? Because now with film, you can break everything down, and you'll say, yes, that was a mental turnover. That was just a poor turnover. That was a good turnover. And again, you just kind of start to see what's plaguing them.
Nice offensive board for Sania Johnson. Gets the ball back, heaves it up. That's way short. Okay, as a coach, you see 23 three-point attempts. We'll touch on that after the timeout, because Kim McNeil does not seem to be a happy camper at the moment, despite the fact her team's up 20. She'll talk about it, and we'll come back after this. Welcome back to Greenville. This game summary is brought to you by Grady White Boats. And of course, with Pirates and Pirates, it's brought to you by a boat company, because that's the way we do it here. Danae McNeil with 20 points has been excellent. And Talbot has certainly carried a load for Hampton, but the turnovers just too many.
Yeah, it really has. They've unable to really get going offensively. East Carolina turning them over at a high rate. East Carolina, again, with just 11 turnovers so far today, they've had a tremendous display of just different people contributing offensively. The Weiss sisters are getting involved. Obviously, McNeil having a great outing, and then Micah Dennis with 7 points as well.
5,000 students have been asked to make noise.
There's got to be more than that. There's got to be. I just want to know who's doing that head count.
These are middle school and elementary kids all across Pitt County, right here in Greenville. I think the largest thing that's fired them up today has been the DJ.
Oh,
Even the basketball's been good too, but anytime a good song comes on,
the music.
I want to hear the Let It Go at some point. There's a reach and foul on Sania Johnson.
A little bit of Frozen.
Nothing beats the Frozen anthem during a timeout break.
Make the roof come off.
This is Hampton's third Education Day game of the year. So I imagine if you ask David Six, the best music for elementary kids, he's got a list of them.
Man, it is tough, right? Because it's so loud for players trying to communicate to their coaches, to their teammates. It's another level of challenge that is placed on these players when it's in this environment.
So Hill shoots in front of a sold-out venue. Goes 2 of 2. There are hardly any seats left. I know a lot of the kids are starting to leave to go back to school, but this place is packed.
So fun being able to leave school, come on a field trip, if you will, and experience college basketball. Get some snacks, get a soda. I mean, that's a great day.
Back to an 18-point game. East Carolina minutes from snapping its 3-game losing streak, which is the most they've had in a 2-year run.
Yes.
Kim McNeil, fresh off a 20-win season here in Greenville, kicks it to Gordon. And the freshman way short on a 24th three-point attempt. And we saw a timeout earlier. Corey and Kim McNeil were getting on their players a little bit.
They really were. And just knowing time and score, they are up 18 at this point. They don't need to settle for a 3. Really execute offense and get in the paint. It's easy to settle for a 3-pointer. As you can see, Danae McNeil
drives the baseline and draws a foul.
Yeah, it takes a discipline to attack and see if you can create opportunities off the bounce.
You look at ECU's shot attempts now, half of them are from 3-point range. Now, it's not the level of Florida Gulf Coast, who attempts 25 threes a game.
No doubt.
However, this is a high number, as there's a deep 2, which was basically a 3, and then Joyner taps it in.
Great backside board right there for Joyner. Getting her involved in the offensive boards can be a huge thing for her in helping her reach that double-double.
Joyner right now has 7 and 4, so a bit short on that mark. And a tip ball, Weiss with the block. As a coach, I'll show you this block first. As a coach, what do you want to see out of your team when you're up 20 in these next 5 minutes?
Yeah, I say offensively, if you're East Carolina, execute. You want to be clean and finish out this game on a high note. And then if you're Hampton, just take care of the basketball these next few minutes. Find ways that you can also execute offensively and defensively.
Hill gets the tip drill and misses. Joyner there with her 5th rebound. Gordon in transition. Top 100 freshman in the country, way off on 3.
Not a strength to shoot a 3 like that in transition. Draw some defenders.
Hill draws contact and 1. So here's Hampton on an 8-0 run. This thing is not over yet.
Not at all. If you're Kim McNeil, you're one of the last 7, shooting a lot outside. Give it to Hampton. Talbot going in tough. Cameron Hill making her presence known. Offensive boards.
This is a Hampton team that scored a season-high 56 points on Sunday. These are important moments as the CAA play is looming in a month. Hampton will open up the year in the conference against its former MEAC rival, A&T, along with Drexel, one of the league favorites.
A&T is always a scrappy game. So many great athletes.
There's a bump foul in the lane for Boston, as Hampton only commits its 2nd foul. And now a substitute, Zaya Minnis out of Clinton, Maryland, will come in, the Hartford transfer. Is Hartford going Division III? Is that what I read last year?
Maybe.
I got to check on that. I knew the men's team was possibly going out of Division I. As Joyner banks it in.
It's a great quick catch and score.
Joyner's padding those stats late. 9.6 rebounds in the search of a double-double.
She's like, let me just get it all in the fourth quarter.
Is playing with 4 fouls, however. Fresh off the bench. Nice jumper for Minnis. That'll earn some playing time.
I love it. The whole bench standing up.
Remember, Hampton only has 10 available players, so all 10 have played. Weiss the board, just too much size. And somehow, Dabo came out with it. Not the Dabo looking for his friend in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
That's
Dabo
right.
at a Hampton, Virginia. Offensive board.
Good board.
Hampton playing hard in this fourth quarter.
The bench is alive, playing with so much energy and intensity. Trying to finish this game out strong.
Dabo 1v1, and this lead has shrunk to 15. What has Hampton done to change this game?
I tell you what, they have been aggressive. They're getting in the paint. They're getting to the free throw line. They're converting when East Carolina is not getting a bucket.
A 10-2 run has made this a little tighter, and that's offensive. Danae McNeil on the turnover. Now this will be an epic comeback of large proportions, and yet Hampton has made this a game.
They really have. They've just been steady too. It hasn't been anything overly dramatic, but they're getting to the rim. They're getting offensive rebounds. They're getting to the free throw line. This is the club that David Six has that he believes in. Again, just trying to get some more offensive production.
Jade Tillman and Micah Dennis return for the Pirates, who are now switching to a zone defense. There's the steal for McNeil. This might do it. Danae in transition up to 22 points. Well, right when you need to stop, you lean on your captain.
That is where she is best. In transition with a steal with a wide open layup.
This is make or break for Hampton. Dabo off on the jumper. And a steal saved by Hampton. Great effort from Minnis. And a timeout for David Six. Danae matches her season high, where she also scored 22 points. And if you're Hampton, a valiant effort, but just too much Danae McNeil today.
No doubt. Danae McNeil is just absolutely dominant for East Carolina, obviously now with a big 17-point lead, but you got to give it to Hampton. David Six, he's still yelling with his players right now. He's still trying to get them involved. And they're hanging in here tough right now. There's still a lot to fight for in this non-conference. This is where growing pains. This is where you learn so much about yourself and your players.
The road trip continues. That's 4 different states coming up in the next month, including CA play up in Philly at Drexel. It's a difficult slate. Hampton will also start on the road for 3 of the first 4 in conference play.
It's tough too, being on the road and again being out of rhythm, if you will, traveling and you know, trains, planes, and automobiles. But again, that's where character is built. That's where a foundation of a team can grow. And David Six is doing that with his club, trying to find their first victory this year.
Are you saying they're taking a train over Norfolk down to D.C. to play George Washington?
Yes.
That's what I would do.
Yes.
That'd be a neat trip.
So fun.
Coach Six, in year 15 here at Hampton. We noted his story overcoming a stroke. Him and his wife Angela both had medical issues the last few years, but here's David, who never missed a game.
I love that.
Worked his way back to the bench. He still battles that slight giddy up in his step, like Buzz Lightyear. But he's finding the way as we hit the final 3 minutes of this fourth quarter.
Great block.
That's Joyner contesting the 3, and Tillman on the court with Dabo for the jump ball. It'll go the other way. If you were a teacher handing out a report card today on Education Day, what would the grade be for East Carolina?
Whew. Well, you know what? They've done a really good job leading up to the last few minutes of responding, new starters, new lineups. They've worked really hard with their defense to impose their offense, and Danae McNeil with another 2.
That's a new season high, 24 points for McNeil. Her career high is 34, so that would take an epic run.
But their defense has done a really good job transitioning to offense today.
To that point, 16 fast break. Talbot's a one-man wrecking crew. Gets her own board. And Joyner comes out with it. All of a sudden, Joyner nearing a double-double with 7 boards. Johnson in transition is off. McNeil is fouled. And that's an area ECU has dominated. Plus 12 on the glass, if not more.
That was a point of emphasis also. Kim McNeil noted coming into this game, you've got to be more aggressive on the boards. It is effort. It is heart to be able to crash the boards and be involved. And she noted it starts in practice. And she's been challenging them and trying to see who can step up. And today they've done a really good job dominating the boards.
As Hampton will bring in its 10th and final player, Casey Miller checks in. She's out of Woodstock, Georgia. Imagine some of the concerts at Bonnaroo down there in Woodstock.
Oh, no doubt.
It would be an epic summer. Now it's 36 degrees and there's 5,000 kids screaming. A little different atmosphere.
Goodness, yes.
Last year here in Minji set a program record 6,600. I imagine that number's pretty close again today.
I would think so.
Haven't had the official numbers just yet.
They're still doing a head count.
It might take that long to count all the kids. As there's a foul on Jade Tillman on the driving Casey Miller. East Carolina will remain at home the next couple of days. Coppin State and Maryland Eastern Shore, kind of the MEAC swing before semester finals. And then it really heats up. George Mason, who's 6-1, having a great year, and of course at the bottom, #1 team in the country, comes to Greenville.
You know, it's always great during this time, especially around exams. There's a lot of practices. There's a lot of opportunity in these next few weeks for the East Carolina to get better, to really find their identity, especially going into some big December opponents.
The schedule definitely comes in waves of softer opponents and then big games. You look at those two of George Mason and South Carolina, those are tournament type appearances. As McNeil uncorks a season best from 3.
Don't look now.
29.
29 for the senior.
She's hit 30 twice in her career. Do you feed her the ball as a teammate?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, instead she steals it, takes it the other way, and 31 for McNeil.
You know, she's going to challenge that you said she wasn't going to get 35.
34 against Houston is her career best. Now an open 3 is off. Offensive board for Reeves in the final 70 seconds. And free throws here for Hampton. That's Cheyenne Talbot, who's not quit on this game at all. 15-9 for Talbot today.
She's been very involved on both ends of the floor. And again, offensively, she's just being aggressive.
Well, I think our answers come. McNeil is subbed out with those 31 points. Tremendous effort. Those are off the bench today, by the way.
Those are qualified as bench points.
Which gives ECU 57 from the bench. A little misleading. But that's the challenge Kim McNeil had asked of her team, flipping the whole lineup.
Seeing who was going to step up, how are they going to respond. She noted the last few weeks there hasn't even been really practice players of the day. Is that something they've been working on the last year and a half? And she's just wanting different people to step up and contribute.
Now the final minute here in Greenville. Some fresh faces on the court, including Kaya Miller, who re-enters. Miller defensively causing some trouble for Weish. ECU well on its way to its 3rd win, snapping a 3-game losing streak, and Talia Weish draws the foul. Now a flurry of subs will re-enter. Jenkins and Smith. Hampton brings back in Malika Cobb at a Capital Christian Academy up in Upper Maryland. Oh, she caught it out of bounds. That's not going to work.
What not to do?
Teaching the elementary school kids what not to do. There's a lost art in that.
That's right.
Gearing up for an Olympic year in 24 in Paris. I guess you'd call that a new sport.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that lacrosse was added to the Olympics this year?
Oh, fun. Gosh, I'm so excited for the Olympics.
Down low drive, and Minnis heads to the free throw line. Although my favorite summer Olympic sport, in the winter it's the shooting and the skiing, where they combine it, the cross skiing. In the summer it's handball. Olympic handball is fantastic. If you get a chance, you got to watch it. It's like a combination of volleyball, basketball, and soccer all mixed in.
Oh, wow.
Minnis has a chance now to match Hampton's season high in scoring with his free throw. Back-to-back games with big production. And there you have it, 55 points.
Minnis coming in off the bench, getting some points.
That snaps a 3-minute scoring drought for Hampton. Good catch for Weiss down low. And a strip here by Hampton. This should wrap things up. In front of 6,000 raucous kids. In a battle of Pirates, Minnis is blocked. And the countdown pauses for a moment on the jump ball.
It's great. The upper level has slowly started to leave, but the lower level is still locked in.
Last moments here for Hampton on the road. Talbot heaves one up, nearly hits it. And East Carolina defends home turf. A dominant win on Education Day. In front of 6,000 raucous students, an impressive win for Kim McNeil's program.
What a fun morning and afternoon of basketball in front of a magnificent crowd of so many kids in the building. Brought a lot of challenges. East Carolina gets back in the winning column. They were on a 3-game losing streak, Evan, down in Bahamas, back home for a little bit and captures a victory.
Put on a show for all these students in attendance. And more impressively, it was balanced. 8 different players scored for East Carolina. 3 in double figures for Hampton, 2 for ECU, and it was Danae McNeil really taking over.
Well, I tell you what, she came alive in the third quarter. She had 31 total points this afternoon, doing it in a variety of ways. Making wide open threes right there, getting out in transition, which is her game to a T. Again, contributed in so many ways defensively and offensively, carrying her team this afternoon. Great hands right there, great touch, great catch and score from Sania, finishing so well. She was wavering a little bit early on, not finishing out in transition, but I tell you what.
And that steal sealed the game in the fourth quarter, too. So we have the winning head coach, Kim McNeil, Pirates and Pirates. After an impressive win, going up by 20, it is loud and raucous in here. You know what? We're going to try something a little different. Kim, can you hear us?
I can now.
Perfect. Kim, you made a distinct lineup change today. Yeah. How did you think your bench players responded in that starting rotation?
We got to win. We got to win, and the win has been hard for us to come by here in the last couple of weeks, so I'll take the win.
Danae McNeil stepped up, especially from that second quarter on. What impressed you about Danae's performance?
You know, just her being aggressive. You know, she was aggressive on the offensive end of the floor, but I've been challenging her defensively. Offense is not the reason why she came out of the lineup. It's because she can do more for us than score. She can rebound, she can defend. You know, we got the win, but we gave up way too many points. So we got some things we got to work on here in the next couple of weeks. I'm still encouraged. I'm still going to be positive, but we're not playing the defense that we know we can play.
And to do it in front of this many students today, what did that mean to you in the program?
Yeah, it's an electric atmosphere here. You know, I told the kids in the locker room before the game, like, do it for yourselves, but do it for all these young kids that are out here that look at you as role models, that want to be like 00 when they grow up or want to be like number 22. Whether they want to be or not, they are role models. Come out here and show them how hard you work, the sacrifices you have to make, because I know they're dreaming that one day they can be in their spot.
Thank you for the time today, Kim.
Yeah, no problem.
Congrats on the win for Kim McNeil. It was raucous today in Greenville. We had a ton of fun on Education Day. For Brittany Hoyt and our talented crew, East Carolina, a slow start, but they bounced back big time. 20-point win back in the win column. Pirates versus Pirates. Hope you enjoyed this afternoon's voyage into Greenville. It was all ECU today. For Will Bailey, our producer, and our talented crew, I'm Evan Budrovich. We say good afternoon on an Education Day in Greenville.